Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series.
So glad to be here for this one.
I am your host, Sam, and sitting across from me is our expert guide for today, Taylor.
Thanks for having me. I've been really looking forward to this deep dive.
Oh, me too. Because today, we are taking you on a mission, like way up, 1,100 meters above sea level, straight into the rugged, thinning air of the Aravalli Hills in Rajasthan.
It is quite the climb, yeah.
It really is. We are venturing into the clouds to explore an absolute marvel of 15th century engineering. Just imagine a structure with a perimeter wall so incredibly massive that 8 full-grown horses can ride side by side along the top of it.
Mind-blowing when you actually see it in person.
Totally. We're talking about the second longest continuous wall on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And it actually hides an entire self-sufficient city inside its gates.
Which is just wild to think about.
Right. So by the time we wrap up this deep dive, you are going to understand not just the epic history of the Great Wall of India, but exactly what it feels like to navigate its ancient stones if you were to, step foot inside tomorrow.
It really challenges every assumption you might have about medieval architecture.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can even begin to talk about visiting today, we really need to understand how and why someone decides to build a 36-square-kilometer fortress in the clouds.
Right. I mean, hauling groceries up a hill is bad enough.
Exactly. It's like the ruler didn't just build a castle. He essentially built an armored, self-sustaining island in the sky. How do you construct an entire city out of heavy stone at that altitude in the 1400s?
Well, it requires a level of ambition that borders on absolute obsession.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so the fortress, Kumbhalgarh, was commissioned by Rana Kumbha. He was the ruler of the Mewar Kingdom, and he didn't just want a nice palace. He wanted an impenetrable sanctuary. The construction took over 15 brutal years. They started in 1443 and didn't finish until 1458 CE.
15 straight years of hauling raw stone.
Yeah, and they didn't take the easy route either. The master architect, a guy named Mandan, designed it to literally integrate into the jagged peaks.
Oh, wow.
They carved into the mountain and hauled thousands of tons of local sandstone and marble up those slopes. It acts like this brutalist stone chameleon. From a distance, you almost can't tell where the mountain ends and the wall begins.
That is wild. But why go through a decade and a half of that kind of grueling labor? What was the threat?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really comes down to the brutal geopolitics of the era. And, well, trade wealth, obviously.
Always comes back to the money.
Exactly. The Mewar Kingdom already had a massive primary capital called Chittorgarh. But, empires fall, capitals get besieged.
Right, you need a backup plan.
Exactly. Kumbhalgarh was the ultimate fallback. It was the second most vital fortress in the empire. Plus, up in those peaks, it controlled the highly lucrative trade routes connecting Gujarat and Rajasthan.
So whoever controls the peak controls the economy.
You got it. But the most astounding part isn't just the defensive wall. It's what he built inside it.
Okay, so what else is in there besides, barracks and armories?
Well, he actually oversaw the construction of over 360 separate temples inside the walls.
Wait, hold on. 360 temples?
Yep. Both Hindu and Jain temples.
Inside a military fallback fort.
That
sounds, kind of like a massive misallocation of space during a war. Shouldn't you build more weapon forges instead of hundreds of places of worship?
It sounds counterintuitive, sure. But it was actually a masterclass in psychological warfare.
Really? How so?
The goal was total, unbreakable self-sufficiency during a siege. If an enemy surrounds the mountain, you might be trapped for months or, even years.
Right, you'd need food and water.
But what keeps the mind alive? What stops the trapped population from just panicking and turning on each other?
Oh, I see. It's about preventing societal collapse from the inside.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
By building all those temples, he was engineering a resilient society. The population could continue their daily rituals, celebrate festivals, and basically maintain a sense of normalcy while a war raged outside.
Weaponizing routine and morale. That is absolutely brilliant.
It wasn't just a bunker. It was a living, defiant city waiting out the storm.
Okay, but that assumes the walls can actually hold off the enemy. And I'm a bit skeptical of this unconquerable reputation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're painting a picture of an invincible fortress. But history tells us every wall falls eventually. Did anyone actually put Mandan's work to the test?
Oh, they absolutely did. And Mandan did everything humanly possible to ensure it held. The engineering is just mind-bending.
What kind of engineering?
Well, the wall is 36 kilometers around and 15 to 25 feet thick. But here's the crazy part. In many of the most critical sections, they used an intricate interlocking stone system without a single drop of mortar.
Wait, without mortar? Isn't mortar the glue? That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen the second a cannonball hits.
You'd assume so. But removing the mortar was actually a highly calculated choice.
Why?
The Aravalli region is prone to earthquakes. If you rigidly glue massive stones together, a violent quake will just snap the wall in half.
Oh, wow.
By cutting the stones to interlock like a 3D puzzle, the wall could actually flex and shift. Mandan gave it built-in shock absorption.
So the wall literally rides the wave of an earthquake. That is next level for the 1400s.
Right. And he added stepped ramparts so soldiers could outmaneuver attackers, watchtowers with miles of visibility, and sloped exterior walls to deflect projectiles.
Just bouncing cannonballs right off.
Plus, massive internal reservoirs and stepwells. As long as the monsoon rains came, the water supply was virtually endless.
Truly an armored island.
It was a royal haven. Maharana Udo Singh II, who founded Udaipur, was actually born safely inside in 1522. Even the legendary Maharana Pratap called it home.
Okay, but I still have to challenge this. We've got thick walls, earthquake-proof stones, sloped armor, and endless water. But looking at the records, the fort actually fell.
It did.
Right, during the siege of 1567 to 1568, the Mughal Emperor Akbar sent a massive force led by Man Singh and Asaf Khan, and they took it. So if the blueprint was so flawless, how did they breach it? Was there a fatal flaw in Mandan's design?
That is the ultimate tragedy here. There was no flaw in the stone.
Really? Then how did they get in?
The Mughal victory was a devastating failure of human loyalty. Akbar's forces threw everything at those walls, bombarded them, tried to scale them, tried to starve them out. Nothing worked.
So the walls held.
The walls held firm. The only way the fortress fell was through deep, treacherous sabotage from within. Someone inside was bribed or coerced into poisoning the fort's primary water supply.
Oh, man. So they didn't defeat the wall, they entirely bypassed it and defeated the water.
Exactly. The water system was its greatest strength, which made it the only viable target. It's a stark lesson. You can build the most impenetrable defenses on Earth, but you can never fully engineer away human treachery.
That is just wild to think about. But, knowing the defensive brilliance of this 36-kilometer wall, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
The China comparison?
Yeah, exactly. When you say second longest wall, everyone's mind immediately goes to the Great Wall of China.
And comparing them is actually the best way to understand what makes Kumbhalgarh so unique.
How so?
Well, the Great Wall of China is a sprawling, linear border defense, mostly made of brick and stone. Its purpose was to stretch across thousands of miles to keep nomadic tribes out of a northern frontier.
So if the Great Wall of China is like a massive, thousands of miles long security fence across a property line, the Great Wall of India is like a giant, impenetrable vault wrapping around a single, highly valuable safe.
What's fascinating here is how that vault concept completely changes the architecture.
Right, because it's circular.
Exactly. It doesn't stretch blindly across a country. It wraps purposefully around itself. It protects an enclosed, self-sustaining ecosystem of temples, palaces, and water.
It's containing a city, not drawing a border.
Precisely. And it specifically rides the sharp, natural ridges of the Aravalli Hills. That culturally integrated nature is exactly why it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2013, under the hill forts of Rajasthan.
And that UNESCO status is huge for preservation, right? So the vault doesn't just crumble away.
It guarantees global attention and funding, ensuring modern travelers can actually step back in time and experience it.
Which brings us to the practical part. With 36 square kilometers and hundreds of temples, where do you even start so you don't burn out by noon?
You definitely need a battle plan. You don't just wander in.
So how do we get there?
Well, it's about 85 kilometers from Udaipur, which is the best starting point. It takes about 2 hours via National Highway 27.
Sounds like a nice drive.
It's beautiful, but timing your visit is crucial. You really want to aim for October to March.
I imagine the weather's a massive factor.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, during winter, you get a comfortable 10 to 25 degrees Celsius. But in the peak summer, you're dealing with blistering heat over 40 degrees Celsius.
Hiking heat radiating stone in that weather is miserable.
Absolutely. And during the monsoons, that smooth stone must just become dangerously slippery.
Yeah, stick to winter. Also, it's open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and entry is incredibly affordable. Only 15 rupees for Indians, 200 rupees for foreigners, and kids are free.
Oh, that's great. So once you're there, what's the route?
Arrive right at 9 a.m. to beat the crowds. You enter through a ram pole, the main gate.
And just seeing those massive 15-foot walls must be wild.
It's crushing. You instantly get why Akbar's army was so frustrated.
So how long does a visit take?
I suggest a paced itinerary of 4 to 6 hours, though history buffs might want 8 to 10.
Wow, an all-day affair.
For sure. After Rampal, explore Kumbha Palace, then head to the Jain Vedi Temple. It's this beautiful 3-story octagonal temple that offers a really peaceful moment amid all that heavy military stone.
But what about the wall itself? Can you actually walk on the part where the horses rode?
You absolutely can. There's a safe 2-kilometer stretch you can walk, but you need proper hiking boots and your own water.
Not just a casual stroll, then.
Definitely not. It's uneven and ancient, but the views are incredible.
And where does all this culminate? What's the grand finale?
You want to pace your ascent to end up at the Badal Mahal, the Palace of Clouds.
Love that name.
It's at the absolute highest point. You get uninterrupted 360-degree panoramic views of the Aravalli range.
That sounds amazing.
If you hit it during the golden hour, like 6:30 to 8 in the morning or right at sunset, the photography is just breathtaking. And if you stay until evening, there's a 45-minute light and sound show.
Oh, cool. What time is that?
7 p.m. in winter, 7:30 in summer. They illuminate the walls and tell the history of the great sieges right into the night air.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because a full day of climbing the Aravalli Hills and hiking that massive wall is going to leave anyone completely exhausted and starving. What happens when you step back outside the gate?
Well, you aren't starving in the wilderness, I promise. The local culture is incredible.
Tell me about the food.
You have to dive into authentic Rajasthani recovery meals. The staple is dal bati churma.
Oh, I've heard of that. What makes it the perfect recovery meal?
It is the ultimate high-calorie comfort food. It centers around bati, which are dense, hard-baked whole wheat dumplings.
Okay, sounds filling.
Very. Soldiers used to carry them in the desert because they didn't spoil. You crush them up, ground them in deeply spiced lentil stew, that's the dal, and eat it with churma, a sweetened wheat mixture cooked with tons of ghee.
Wow. Savory, spicy, sweet, and crunchy all at once.
It restores every calorie you burned on that wall. There's also kursungri, a tangy desert bean curry, and gatte ki sabzi.
What about quick snacks?
Local stalls sell piping hot kachoris and samosas, plus traditional sweets like gellar and fini.
It's like the fort is the epic main course, but these wildlife safaris and local cuisines are the most spectacular side dishes you could ask for. Wait, I jumped ahead. Did you mention a safari?
Oh yeah, the Kumbhalgarh Wildlife Sanctuary is right next door. 600 square kilometers.
No way.
Yeah, take an early morning jeep safari and you might spot Indian leopards, sloth bears, or Indian wolves.
Leopards and wolves right outside the walls. That really puts the untamed wilderness into perspective.
And if you want more architecture, the Ranapur Jain Temple is just a 30-kilometer drive away.
What's special about that one?
It's a marble masterpiece, famous for having exactly 1,444 intricately carved pillars. And supposedly, no two are identical.
1,444 unique pillars? That is staggering.
It is. There's also the Muchkal Mahavir Temple nearby, famous for its deity sporting a prominent mustache. All of this just proves Kumbhalgarh isn't a dead monument. It's the beating heart of a living cultural ecosystem.
So true. We started off talking about this isolated island in the clouds, designed to shut the world out. But today, it serves as the welcoming heart of this vibrant culture.
Which leaves us with a really provocative thought to mull over.
What's that?
Well, Kumbhalgarh is proof that being the second longest or second biggest often means a masterpiece is hiding in plain sight, completely uncrowded.
Oh, I totally agree.
The Great Wall of China gets all the fame and the massive crowds. Meanwhile, this architectural marvel sits quietly in the rugged peaks, just waiting to be explored. Makes you wonder what other incredible second bests in history have we been ignoring, simply because they aren't the most famous.
I love that. A powerful reminder to always look past the #1 spot on the list, because the second spot might just be an empty, pristine vault in the clouds waiting for you to discover it.
Exactly.
If you decide to travel to India, we have a recommendation. 5 Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are immersive cultural experiences. You can email contact@5sensestours.com. Note 5 is written as a numeral in contact@5sensestours.com or WhatsApp 2 +919 845 677 446.